Becoming a rich and famous athlete is not as easy as it seems. But like that famous saying goes, behind every great man is a great woman. Make sure to keep watching until the end to see why one rich NBA wife wants others to know that her life isn't all that glamorous. Before we get started, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. And if you want to try and win a $50 Amazon gift card, leave us a comment below. Now, let's go inside the lives of the rich wives of athletes. We all know someone who dreams of one day making it into the NFL or NBA. They spend hours perfecting their throw after school and won't even dare to drink a single drop during their sports season. While we do appreciate their hard work and dedication to their craft, doing all that still won't guarantee them a career as an elite athlete. But what makes an athlete so good that brands want to sponsor them with millions of dollars? Psychologist Anders Ericsson argues that in order for someone to be an expert at something, they have to put in at least 10,000 hours of practice. However, there are some hockey players out there who have definitely put in their 10,000 hours and will still never make what Wayne Gretzky made during his career. No one really knows what makes some athletes so profitable, but let's take a look at some of the most successful ones out there. To truly understand the lives of the rich wives of athletes, we also have to talk about some of the biggest all-stars in the game. When talking about the NBA, it's impossible to not mention Michael Jordan's mark on the sport. He is largely considered as one of the best basketball players ever. He even gained billionaire status long after he was done playing. It is estimated that Michael made around $90 million during his 15 seasons with the NBA. Out of those earnings, $63 million was made during just 2 seasons alone. His first wife, Juanita Vannoy, definitely enjoyed life of luxury during his prosperous career. She divorced him back in 2006, but is still reaping the benefits of his wealth today. Juanita was offered reality TV show appearances and her own tell-all special after the divorce, but she chose to live a quiet life out of the spotlight. She also simplified her life once she was single and chose to focus her attention on her children and friends. However, we have yet to mention that Juanita did get a $168 million settlement from the divorce. She now spends the majority of her time collecting art, traveling, and doing Bikram yoga, so we have the feeling that she's doing just fine. As for Michael's current wife, he met her while out at a nightclub in Miami. Yvette Perez likes to keep things private, but we know that she's living a fancy lifestyle. Her 2013 wedding to Michael reportedly cost $10 million, and we're sure that he was the one who footed the bill. Yvette actually filed for bankruptcy right before meeting Michael. Thanks to him, she now has a sizable net worth of about $1.5 million. While most retired athletes fade away into oblivion, Michael continues to make millions each year thanks to his endorsement deals. We think that his billionaire status is impressive, and we're sure that Yvette agrees with us on that. UFC fighter Conor McGregor may have one of the best rags to riches stories that we have ever heard in the sports world. Before he became known for knocking out an opponent in just 67 seconds back in 2013, Conor was working as an apprentice plumber in Ireland. But he had no passion for plumbing and quit to pursue a risky MMA career. Trying to make money as an MMA fighter was difficult at first, and he had to rely on welfare checks to help keep him afloat. Conor actually named his yacht the 188, after the weekly amount of euros that he received during his pre-fame years. Nowadays, he makes an estimated 7-figure salary. The most important thing about being rich to Conor is that he's now able to give his girlfriend everything that she's ever wanted. Dee Devlin is not technically Conor's wife yet, but she's been standing by him for years. She loved him when he was a nobody and had no money. Now that their lives have changed for the better, Conor loves to spoil Dee with gifts and vacations. He even once gave her a beautiful Cartier watch worth $27,000. Conor is also supporting Dee financially so that she can travel around with him while he's on the road. He always tells the media that he owes his entire success to his lovely girlfriend. We're just happy that things worked out for these two lovebirds. Now, let's get into more wives of rich athletes. One of our all-time favorite wives is married to retired soccer player David Beckham. Not only did she snag herself the hottest husband ever, Victoria Beckham became a household name herself thanks to her own merit. In fact, Victoria was the more famous one of the two when they first met. She was affectionately known by fans everywhere as Posh Spice, which was her nickname when she was a member of the Spice Girls. Victoria has admitted that she wasn't the best singer in the group and that her mic would often be turned off during performances. She was also way more reserved and sensible than the other Spice Girls. According to the rumor mill, Victoria doesn't even keep in touch with any of the other girls today. She met David Beckham in the Manchester United Players Lounge in 1997 and immediately fell in love with him. These two lovebirds married in 1999 and have been the exact definition of couple goals ever since. David may not play soccer anymore, and Victoria hasn't been a Spice Girl since forever, but their love for each other is adorable. Plus, their kids are pretty cute too. If we could only wish for one thing in this world, it would be to find a relationship as strong as the Beckhams. Ayesha Curry may be married to two-time NBA champion Stephen Curry, but she doesn't want to ever be known as an NBA wife. That's because this Toronto-born beauty juggles many different titles that are way more important than just being married to a star athlete. Ayesha and Stephen met at a church youth group when they were just teenagers, but it wasn't love at first sight. In a high school assignment that Ayesha had to complete for a theater class, she actually had written down that she would never date an athlete because they're arrogant. When Stephen finally started making waves in the basketball world, he reconnected with Ayesha through Facebook and asked her to go on a date with him. She had initially turned him down, but eventually ended up agreeing to meet with him. Fortunately, these two cuties hit it off right away and got married after dating for 3 years. While a lot of people only know about Ayesha because of Stephen, they usually have no idea that she's an awesome boss babe. She has a passion for cooking and has gone from being a stay-at-home mom to a full-time chef and entrepreneur. She has her own cookbook, a show on the Food Network, a blog full of recipes, a YouTube channel, a restaurant, and millions of followers on her Instagram page. She's even a host on the Great American Baking Show and is a regular guest on The Rachel Ray Show. We don't know how Ayesha manages to fit all that into her days, but one thing's for sure, Ayesha loves what she does. Maybe we should all start referring to Stephen Curry as a chef's husband instead. Tom Brady is known for being the super famous quarterback of the New England Patriots. With a net worth of $180 million, it's clear that he's doing pretty well for himself. But did you know that he is married to the world's highest paid supermodel, Gisele Bundchen? Although she's retired from walking down the runway, Gisele still has a net worth bigger than Tom at an estimated $360 million. These two millionaires met back in 2006 after they were introduced to each other by a mutual friend. Tom was dating actress Bridget Moynihan at the time, but that didn't stop Gisele from falling head over heels for him. According to her, these two haven't spent a single day without speaking to each other since they first met. They eventually tied the knot in 2009 and have been one of the world's best power couples ever since. However, it wasn't always rainbows and butterflies for these two, and they had to overcome a bunch of obstacles to stay together. Unfortunately, they hit a rough patch back in 2015 after Tom and his team were accused of deflating footballs during a game against the Indianapolis Colts. An insider told E! News that Tom took his anger out on Gisele during the scandal, and she didn't really know how to deal with him acting that way. Things took a turn for the worse when Ben Affleck's ex-nanny posted an Instagram pic showing off Tom's Super Bowl rings. Gisele was apparently so jealous that she ran away to Brazil for a week. She honestly didn't know if she could ever work things out between them. Thankfully, the deflategate nightmare is over, and Tom has proved that he is dedicated to his marriage. He and Gisele are still as madly in love today as they were when they first met. When former Lakers player Kobe Bryant announced that he was engaged to an unknown woman, it didn't take the media too long to figure out who she was. The next day, Vanessa Bryant had helicopters flying over her school trying to catch a glimpse of her. At the time, she was an 18-year-old senior at Marina High School in Huntington Beach. When they got married soon after, Kobe's parents did not attend the wedding because they didn't approve of his bride. Vanessa was young and in love with the NBA player, but we bet that she never imagined that he would continuously cheat on her throughout their marriage. It is alleged that he had at least 100 affairs during the first 10 years of their marriage. Vanessa was so fed up with his infidelity that she even filed for a divorce back in 2011. But their divorce was called off in 2013, and these two have been working on their marriage ever since. We'd understand her staying with him if he messed up only once, but how does someone get away with having an affair with 100 different women? All we have to say about the situation is that Kobe is one lucky guy. As for Vanessa, we congratulate her on being courageous enough to forgive him. It's clear that keeping her family together was important to her throughout the scandal. While we tend to fantasize over the glitz and glamour that wives of athletes get to experience, Allison Jones doesn't sugarcoat what it's really like to be married to a pro athlete. While she does enjoy being able to live a wealthy lifestyle thanks to her NBA hubby, Dequan Jones, being a basketball wife isn't easy. Dequan first started his career playing abroad in Italy and Japan. Allison moved across the ocean for him, but was quickly left feeling isolated by the language barriers and lack of familiar faces. Imagine how terrible it would feel to not be able to communicate with anyone around you. She was also left completely alone for a couple of days whenever her hubby had to travel for his away games. Allison also hates that basketball dictates every single aspect of their shared life. She would love to start a family with Dequan, but can't right now. His busy basketball schedule would make him miss out on too many important milestones. They would even have to plan the pregnancy to a T to make sure he could be there for the birth. Can you imagine how stressful it would be for them to even try for a baby right now? Since Dequan is planning on playing for the next 10 years, Allison will just have to compromise and wait for her little family to begin. She also thinks that it's silly that some girls aspire to be basketball wives because they don't know what it's really like. She's had to make so many sacrifices because of Dequan's career, but she doesn't mind because she married him for love. Those who are trying to marry a professional athlete for the fame and riches are in for a rude awakening. The money and traveling can get old real quick. If you're wondering what the odds are of someone becoming a professional athlete, the Canadian company Online Casino did the research. According to the data that they collected, the following information is interpreted in terms of the number of U.S. high school students that make it as professional athletes in their field. When it comes to men's ice hockey, the odds are pretty good, with 1 in 598 students making it. Baseball is a bit worse, with 1 out of 659 students making it. Next is football, with 1 out of 4,233 students making it. In men's soccer, only 1 out of 5,768 students go pro. And last but not least, only 1 out of 11,771 high school students makes it as professional basketball players. As you can see from the statistics gathered, it's really hard to make it into the world of professional sports. Those who are able to do so are very lucky. Some might even say that the wives of rich athletes are even luckier. However, we'll be the first to admit that the luckiest ones are the couples who fell in love and managed to stay married despite the craziness of their sports careers. Is there an athlete's wife that we didn't cover that you think should have been included in this video? Leave us a comment below to let us know who your favorite sports wife is. You'll get brownie points if you can tell us exactly how she met her talented hubby. That's all for Inside the Lives of the Rich Wives of Athletes. If you want to watch another video, check out Inside the Lives of the Rich Kids of Canada. Thanks for watching!